boys and girls. Welcome to Story Time with Logger. We were so tickled to find out that we had been selected to do a book reading for you. And so we asked what book it was that they wanted us to read. And today they asked us to read the story of Ferdinand. So that's what we're going to do, isn't it? And do you know about Ferdinand? Ferdinand likes to smell flowers. Do you like to smell flowers? Logger loves to smell flowers. So we got a flower to sit here with us so he can smell it. Okay, we're going to read the story of Ferdinand. Okay. Once upon a time in Spain, am I keeping you up? There was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. Boom. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. Yeah, just like you do. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in the shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head, she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to pick a fight at the bullfights in Madrid. They wanted to be the bull. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats. See their hats? To pick the biggest, fastest, and roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. See their hats? They're goofy looking. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Did you see this, Log? Did you see this? Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He wasn't looking where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on a nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Oh no! He sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what the bee did to Ferdinand. Ouch! Oh no! Wow! Did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He went round, puffing and snorting, butting and pawing at the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the fights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight in a cart. What a day it was! Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the bandoleros with long, sharp pins, poke, 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 with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. I don't like this. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Poke, poke, poke. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Who was it? Ferdinand, that's right. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandoleros were afraid of him, and all the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Were you scared? Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all of the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the bandoleros were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. See? They loaded him back in the cart. Do you see that? And for all I know, he is sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers very quietly. He is very happy. The end. Well, that was a nice book about Ferdinand, and he got to go see some things and then come back home. And we hope that you get to do the same thing over this holiday, but please be safe and don't forget, as Logger says, wash your paws. Have a good holiday. Bye-bye.